Alrighty, let me just switch this over. Oh my god. Ugh. Da, 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 da. Okay. Look what this shithead put down. Breaking. Woke U.S. women's soccer humiliation. After winning back-to-back World Cups, the heavily favored Team USA has been eliminated by Sweden in the 16th round. Team USA's downfall was delivered by anti-America, anti-woman activist Megan Rapinoe's embarrassing free kick here. As I stated on Twitter, there is a whole lot wrong with this idiot's statement. A hell of a lot wrong. Anti-woman activist. Last time I checked, Megan Rapinoe was a woman. And winning back-to-back World Cups. After winning back-to-back World Cups, who won those World Cups? You chode. Who the hell was the reason for winning World Cups in U.S. soccer? Who in particular helped to win those World Cups? And soccer humiliation. What do you mean humiliation? It's a game. They're World Cup winners. You don't win every game. What the hell are you trying to get at? Humiliation. Don't you live in the United States? Aren't you a citizen of this country? Wouldn't that make this team your team? The U.S. team? That's you. That's your team. The fuck are you talking about woke? Anti-America. They're the U.S. women's soccer team. Anti-America. So was it humiliating for America when they won those World Cups before? What makes it humiliating now that they didn't win? It's woke. It's because they're woke. So the U.S. soccer team is woke, and that's why they lost this one. The same woman, probably most of the same players on the team that have won World Cups have been the same. But losing to Sweden is because they're woke. Let me tell you about Sweden if you want to talk about woke. Embarrassing free kick. You're talking about this is a professional women's soccer player. What could you do in comparison to Megan Rapinoe? This woman has been the reason the women's team has won World Cups in the past. This woman is the reason they have won many, many games for America. They are the U.S. women's soccer team. This woman has gotten all kinds of, sponsorship deals. She's been in commercials. I think she was in a Subway commercial. This woman has accomplished far more in her life and is more exemplary a professional athlete than you could ever be. This woman has gotten farther, and that team has gotten farther than you could ever get. It looks like Benny Johnson over here it's like he was waiting for them to lose a game or score a bad kick or whatever so that he could go on about how they're woke. I haven't checked because ultimately I don't think it matters, but I'm pretty sure this guy is an American citizen. You are mocking yourself by mocking this women's soccer team. They're your team. Legendary women's soccer team. Won tons of World Cups. And you say that. He mentions that right here after winning back-to-back World Cups. Who do you think helped to win those World Cups? Their downfall. No, she's still pretty legendary of a professional athlete. That's not going to change. Having won back-to-back World Cups is not going to change. It's like this guy couldn't wait to jump on this woman in particular and his own soccer team, U.S. women's soccer team, so he could blame everything on woke. What the fuck do you even mean, woke? Do you know what woke even means? I don't know if any of these assholes know what the word is anymore. We could be in the middle of a war. We could be in the middle of a war, and if Megan Rapinoe was on the front lines, solely responsible for winning a number of victories across the landscape, and then ended up losing a fort somewhere down the line, this asshole would be there saying it's because she's woke. Ha ha! 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 America! We're losing the war! Ha! So, you are losing the war. These people, they're fucking insane. They're just fucking insane. They're so desperate. They're so childish. Huh. Someone should tell Benny how woke Sweden is. Left-wing woman loses in a sport, it's her fault. Right-wing woman loses in a sport, I want to see rival teams' genitalia now. Let's be honest here, they want to see their genitalia regardless. Especially if they're underage. During the Men's World Cup, England lost on PKS. 3 young stars missed and they were black. There was a lot of dumb shit said in England. Doesn't seem like he cares about facts or watches women's sports. The problem is he's not even paying attention to what he's saying. The contradiction comes one sentence from the previous. Every subsequent line contradicts the earlier lines. Back-to-back World Cups won, but they lost this one because they're woke. They lost because they're woke. Read what you just said. after what? Back-to-back wins with her on the team. Woke is a made-up boogeyman Fox News created. Nobody even knows what a woke policy even is. I've been hearing shit like this from my mom, too. She started using all of the buzzwords. I think they do it because it makes them sound hip and young and totally with it. Like, with what goes on in today's world, and of course they have no idea what any of these buzzwords mean. They have no idea how to use them. I've used the little dog scenario or the annoying little brother scenario. That's what this is. See, the right are like those annoying little brothers or sisters that insist on following you everywhere you go. You are older, you're different, you're trying to branch out on your own, you've got your own friends, you're doing your own thing, and here's the little brother or the little sister who is so desperate to fit in, so desperate to seem like they're cool too, and they know what's going on. They repeat all the words they hear you use. They try to hang out and act the way you do. And it's pathetic because they don't know what the words they're using means. They don't know why they're acting the way they're acting. They're just not with it. That's the right. Doesn't even understand what a round of 16 is or a penalty. Facts are for woke people. Conservatives, yay, we lost! Yay, we totally lost because of a woke team. A woke team that are professional athletes that do what I could never do, that have already won World Cups back to back. Yay, we lost to Sweden because they're so woke. Your team lost, and you're happy about that. Against Sweden. Sweden, one of the happiest, most prosperous, woke countries on the planet. Huh. When was the last time the men's team made it to the round of anything? Apparently woke is when you have women on your sports teams. Woke is when women have a sports team at all. Woke is when women. I know it's like a job for this Benny guy and so many others like him. I can't imagine waking up every day and just being so fucking stupid. It's all because they want to dunk on Rapinoe, even though she played the major part in the past two World Cups. And none of them have a clue what Sweden's economic policy is like. They use Norway as a non-shithole example. Some of the reasons Norway is amazing is because of their social safety net and activist progressive policies. No, they like countries like Sweden and Norway, and they keep referring to them because they are Scandinavian countries. They are Aryan white countries. They will completely ignore the fact that these countries are among the most prosperous in the world because of their social safety nets, because of their great economic policies, because of their socialism. They seem to forget that in favor of the way the people living there look. And that goddamn bitch Ann Coulter once said on, I think it was Bill Maher, no, we don't want bad people coming to this country. We want the good people coming to this country. We want doctors and lawyers and rich people coming to this country. That was good people is a euphemism. That was code for we want white people coming here. We don't want brown people coming here. And I'm sure more than one person, I hope, had to tell her, who's going to tell her, people from these countries like Norway and Sweden and France and, anywhere in Scandinavia, they would rather be caught dead than move over here. For good people, coming to the United States is a step down. They have everything they could ever need in their countries. You know why all of those brown people you don't like are fighting to come over here, crossing the border? Because their countries are shit. To somebody who lives in a country where they don't have electricity and they live in a mud hut and they trek over here with one shoe and their village suffers from famine, seeing a half-eaten Big Mac in a garbage can must look amazing to them. Electricity anywhere you live must look amazing to them. Access to clean water via plumbing must look amazing to them. Being able to just go out and get a job seems amazing to them because they come from really bad places or really bad situations. We get a lot of the immigrants that we get because they want a better life, and the right will constantly bring that up. They want a better life. That means America is number one. No, they cross the border with one shoe and a sack of rice on their back. That's why America looks great to them. The people you want to move here, the rich people, the doctors, the lawyers, people from Scandinavia in particular, wonder why that is, wouldn't be caught dead moving over here. Canadians wouldn't be caught dead moving over here. It's a step down for those horrible socialist countries that guarantee you vacation time and paid time off for maternity leave and an adequate living wage regardless of what job you hold. Shit like that. Health care! Free fucking health care! They wouldn't be caught dead moving over here. Yeah, Sweden is pretty woke, politically speaking. So maybe his woke thing was that Sweden won? No, of course not. Fucking Chode isn't smart enough to think like that. No, he thinks he won because he dunked on Megan Rapinoe. That's what it's all about. Scandinavian nations are really holding it down. Everywhere else is going full kleptocracy or fascism these days. A sports team lost? Could you imagine how humiliating it must feel for that team not to win every single game? Shame. Again, this is why he's a fucking chode. This is why he's a fucking idiot. This guy probably couldn't score a goal in soccer if you paid him $1 million. Look at this guy. I bet he was one of those kids who was picked last for the team in school. Find it particularly interesting that a lesbian woman could be labeled anti-woman activist. I'm gay, but I'm all about the cock. Makes sense. Yeah, they only won 2 World Cups in a row. Total losers. I assume this fucker is also into the trad wife movement, where they think anything but being barefoot and pregnant is bad for women. So a lesbian saying women are lesbians to them is anti-woman. Probably exactly what it is. She encourages women to be themselves. Therefore, it's anti-woman. Because she's anti what the fuck these guys want a woman to be, therefore anti-woman. So, in other words, she is very pro-woman and he doesn't like it. This guy needs to be dive bombed with hate, the way he hates on others. How exactly would she be anti-woman? She's a woman! Gee, how woke would the men's team be because they've never won? Maybe they're eating estrogen like candy and having their periods instead of training. Say, how's the men's team doing all these years? Gotta be a lot better than the women's, right? No, but they're not woke. They don't have Megan Rapinoe on the team. I guess, you know, to idiots like Johnson, to idiots like Johnson, woke is anybody other than his ideal getting a win. And he even acknowledges they've had major wins, but that doesn't matter to him. They lost this game, so ha ha! Like a fucking child. Ha ha! You lost! You're such losers! World Cup winners. This is what he's saying about them. Because he doesn't like lesbians. Just a fucking moron. Why would anyone still be his lawyer at this point? Trump now attacking the judge with with another all caps delusional rant with more illiterate idiocy included. This is his fourth all caps rant in the last 60 minutes. Dude, I thought that threatening tweet already violated the terms of pretrial. Why is he even allowed to tweet anymore? Why isn't he in a jail cell? I'm using a Sharpie to move all my indictments to Alabama. Like he could find Alabama on a map. Oh, he knows. Alabama suffered a hurricane because he Sharpied them into harm's way. Pretty sure he thought he was redirecting it to California. Points to Albania. If he wanted his trial in West Virginia, he should have done his crimes in West Virginia. Well, he's been in the state, so it's safe to assume he committed at least one crime there. Diverse equals no black people. In Trump-tard world, the black people have already taken over, and white straight Christian males are the minority. I hate this so much. Fascism 101. They're using leftist talking points against us by reversing the meaning. It's actually chilling. Like Trump calling black DAs racist. Yep, like I said, they use terms to fit in, to make an impact, and they don't know what those words mean. They see how honest, legitimate discourse changes hearts and minds. They think it's just going to do the same thing if they use the words. Like I said, like that annoying little brother that mom tells you have to put up with. He's trying so desperately to fit in with the big kids by repeating words, parroting phrases and actions, and he has no idea what they mean. That's the right. That's the right. You need brains, you need maturity, you need humility to be able to capture hearts and minds, to be able to make a real impact. These people just pick up little buzzwords and then they start shooting out those buzzwords. They think that's all it takes to get attention and make a point, and they have no idea what any of those words mean. They assume they will be mistreated because they would mistreat other races themselves without hesitation. All projection as usual. And from Alabama, we don't want them here either. Let them rot. Alabama sent a fucking football coach to the Senate. Get the fuck out of here. Ah, yes, attacking the judge is prejudiced and unqualified. That is definitely in keeping with TFG's pretrial instructions and is in no way tantamount to attempting to prejudice potential jurors. Nope, nothing to see here, folks. Surely this eloquent post of his will convince the judge to recuse herself out of shame. I imagine that's what he's trying to have happen. Really hope consequences land on his ass this time. lecherous. Hamburger. Oh, that's sad. The president and a small group of people know exactly what he meant by that. Sean Spicer. When your delicate narcissistic ego snowflake is so fragile, you can't just admit you made a typo and have to have your lackey insist on national television you are speaking some big brain secret code. My favorite interpretation is that it was prescient portmanteau of COVID and kerfuffle, as in President Trump totally botched his pandemic response, and the ensuing covfefe killed 800,000 people. Sadly, I suspect this is less about trying to affect the actual court proceedings and more about trying to stir up as much unrest as possible so he can fundraise, win the election, pardon himself, and go after his political enemies. He knows he can never defend these criminal charges. Or just provoke a civil war and take the country down with him. Yeah, ultimately, his best intention would be to create civil war, take over as a dictator, and murder any who oppose him. Too bad he was never convicted of the crimes he committed in the 70s or 80s, or 90s, or 2000s, or 2000 teens. No, what I'm saying, if he were convicted of those crimes in those early years, we would have never had to deal with him in modern time. Why is he not in jail now, is my question. People are locked up for months pending a trial for fucking shoplifting. And this guy is allowed to threaten the judge and prosecutors from his personal social network site? Throw his ass in jail. And put any of his rabble in jail if they want to cause any shit too. They failed to overthrow the damn government. Getting a fair trial is a merciful reaction. Hear, hear. I absolutely agree. These people whining and crying about the way he's treated. If you or I did half of the shit he's done, our asses would be sitting in jail until our trial. We probably would not have access to social media. Hell, we wouldn't have even gotten to this point. We would have been put away decades ago. And where are his rabid followers now? I mean, he's been indicted. He's awaiting a trial now. Shouldn't they be storming another Capitol building? Another attack? Where are they? All of a sudden, they don't want to do anything. Maybe it's because all of these Capitol building QAnon maggot fucktards have been going into prison themselves, left and right. And all of their excuses are the same. Every single one of them gets caught, and what do they say? Well, I didn't really mean it. Well, I was duped by Trump. Well, he said he was going to pay my legal fees, and he's nowhere. So I don't like him anymore. Oh, I didn't really mean what I did. They just goose step backward on all this maggot Q horseshit once they get caught. If Trump still has such a hold on people, where are they? Why don't they storm the courthouse for his pre-trial? his arraignment or whatever the hell went down. Where were they? We're not really hearing very much from these people lately. And their dear orange leader is a stone's throw away from being convicted and going to prison. I would think if they loved him so much, they would be doing something about it. But shame works on them because they desperately want Trump's approval. Well, then where are they? Shouldn't they be storming the Capitol again? Shouldn't they be filling the streets? Instead of a PS5 giveaway in New York, shouldn't the streets be filled with MAGA Q Cheeto Trump supporters? Shouldn't the NYPD be dealing with that bullshit? I'd like to see what difference it would make if it were a bunch of old white Q fuckers staging a riot. Where are they? I'm actually shocked. I am totally shocked that we haven't had another insurrection, not so much as a major protest in any major city. Nothing is on the news. Trump is getting ready to face trial for federal crimes. He could go to prison. And where the fuck are they? Some sycophants, huh? See? Because that's the way these people think. It's all fine and good until it affects them. Until it affects them personally. Hopefully, they have learned a thing or two in the aftermath of J6. So now they're not going to try anything. They love Trump so much, but he screwed them over too. And I think that's why we're not seeing anything. If Trump ends up getting a 50-year prison sentence, I don't think they'll do anything then either. Clarence Thomas first. He's clearly a master of interpersonal persuasion, the art of the deal, if you will. I honestly think he either believes, erroneously obviously, that antagonizing the judge will unfairly prejudice the court against him and allow for a change of venue, or that part or all of his legal counsel were dumb enough to think it's a legit strategy, or pathetic enough to validate his delusions that it is. I mean, never discount the possibility that he's just raving as usual, but the whole poop at the midfield line and claim the match has to be relocated and rescheduled due to the poop on the pitch strategy seems pretty on brand for him and his team. Yeah, his only strategy is to push as many boundaries as he can while keeping the narrative going, in hopes that enough things work to delay any punishments long enough for him to get back into office. Honestly, he doesn't have a chance in hell of getting back into office. I seriously think, actually, I'm not even sure if he would have a chance in hell of making the primary. Probably would. And then it would be between him and Biden again, obviously. And then Biden will win by a landslide. I should take bets on this. He probably does think if he can maybe hold off long enough, he'll get back into office and then he can pardon himself. Like, dude, you're not getting back into office. You give malignant narcissists too much credit. His actions have no planning. He doesn't have the capacity to think of himself in abstract terms. So he cannot weigh options and choose the best paths when he's under this kind of stress. I guarantee you, his amygdala is lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. He's going with whatever option his terrified brain is telling him will work. Best description I've ever heard of Trump is he's always just trying to get through the next 5 minutes. Oh man, I regret I have no prizes to give you. I hope she includes this in tomorrow's hearing. Yeah, for some reason, people think if you piss off a judge, you can ask for a new one because you've automatically prejudiced them against you. Except that's not how it works. Anything you say during the course of trial is a fair game. If you piss the judge off, you're going to have to deal with it. Nah, I think he's trying to get his supporters up in arms and start a fascist revolution in the country. The trial is of little consequence to him. He sees himself as an emperor and he's banking on another J6 type of movement on a larger scale. Yeah, except where are they? Ha 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 ha. That's good for his campaign fundraising. At this point, I'm okay with him fleecing his supporters because it means the supporters will have that much less money to travel or buy weapons or otherwise cause mayhem. You know there's some room temp IQ Trumper thinking they will somehow infiltrate the jury and swing it by using some 12 Angry Men style cunning, which would be like watching a dog drive a car, entertaining but ultimately a bad idea. Dude, they're gonna make sure, they get to pick and choose their jurors before they become jurors. The defense is going to want to throw out anybody who they think has a hatred of Trump. The prosecution is definitely going to be looking for the opposite. Man, I wish I were on that jury. Well, anyway, I'm taking off. More World War Z tonight. Mwah.